What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of B is for Build. In today's episode, it's our 1981 DeLorean DMC-12, it's our 1994 Toyota Supra Twin Turbo, and it's our 1990 something Mazda RX-7 Zero Turbo. What's going on with all these builds? That's what we're going to talk about in today's episode. What's next? What's going on? Before we get down to work, I want to take a second out to thank our sponsor. Today's episode is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. You guys have heard me talk about Raid Shadow Legends before. It is my favorite mobile game, and in my opinion, I think it is the best mobile game around. And if you don't know why that is by now, let me tell you why by breaking down my top 5 favorite champions in an order that you're not going to expect. This is my top 5 favorite champions with tongue-twisting names. Coming in at number 5, we have Turvold. Coming in at number 4, we have Sikia Flame Tongue. I don't know if I like that one more because it's hard to say or just because it's funny. Flame Tongue. Coming in at number 3, we have Archmage Helmet. Coming in at number 2, we have Kreela Witch Arm. Which Arm? I don't know. Her name should come with a question mark at the end. Are these tongue twisting names or just funny names? I don't know. And coming in at number 1, we have Gurgle the Ugger. Gurgle the Ugger. With notable mention to Roxanne. There you have it. That's my top 5 tongue-twisting champions in Raid Shadow Legends. I personally like Raid Shadow Legends for a lot of reasons, but my number 1 favorite reason I love it is the graphics. The graphical detail and the character development that goes into each champion is unmatched. And the second thing I love about it is the PvP aspect of the game. I'm so glad they keep this in the game because it's cool to be able to take your champions and go battle other people in real life. It's my most favorite thing to do in the game. You're stacking yourself up against the next best guy and see who comes out on top. And guys, now is the best time to get started in Raid. So if you click the link in my description or scan the QR code on the screen right here, this big old thing right here, you're gonna get unique bonuses that are worth $30. We're talking a free epic champion, not a tongue twister, Tay-roll. Not too real, but Tay-roll. Okay, it's a bit of a tongue twister. 200k silver, 1 energy refill, 1 XP boost, and 1 ancient shard. So you can summon awesome champions as soon as you get in the game. And all this treasure is gonna be waiting for you right here. And remember, this is only available to new players and for the next 30 days. So guys, don't wait. Make sure you hit the link in my description to support my channel and to support Raid Shadow Legends, who have been huge supporters of us making so many of these builds possible. Also, something I think is worth mentioning is the company that makes Raid Shadow Legends is called Fareoh. They've been insanely large supporters of my channel and my career over the years. And they're going through a tough time right now. They are in Ukraine, and a lot of them are still there in bomb shelters and different things like that. So I want to send out my well wishes to you guys. Thank you guys so much for all the support. But also, guys, just keep in mind, you click that link, you download, you help support them and their game, their awesome game that they've created for all of us while they're going through an unimaginably bad situation. So let's do this one for them. Hit the link in the description. Thank you again, Raid Shadow Legends, for sponsoring this episode. Let's get down to it. So let's get started talking about the DeLorean. What is the game plan for the DeLorean? I'm gonna hop inside. I haven't sat in this thing in a day or two. So if you've been watching B is for Build for a while now, you know that usually we buy a build, we buy all of the supporting parts that we're gonna need, you know, if it's body parts, engines, wiring harnesses, we try and get everything all in under our roof, and then we buy the build, we unveil it, and boom, we rush to build everything. This was a little bit different. This DeLorean kind of started as a concept for me. It was, I saw a model that I will show you guys later in this episode of a modified DeLorean, and I fell in love and I thought, I really want to build that car. Then it became a discussion that I had with some people at Chevrolet, and I said, hey, like, I think your guys' new E-Crate system would be amazing for a DeLorean. Would you guys be interested in you know, partnering up to do that build? And there was absolutely no commitment by them, but a positive response. Basically saying, I think that idea is really cool. So what I wanted to do next with the DeLorean was go buy a DeLorean, have the thing ready to show. Honestly, I should know this. I'm not sure if it's Chevy or GM. I think it's GM. The person I'm talking to is at Chevy. But anyways, I wanted to show them that, hey, I'm serious about this build. I really want to do it, and I'm ready to go when you are. So I bought this DeLorean knowing that we don't have the electronic kit from GM here. It's not here. We don't have it. We don't even have a promise from them that they're willing to partner with us on the build and help us get the kit. So it's very different than the way that we usually do things. Now, if we end up in a situation where Chevy doesn't want to do the partnership, that's totally fine. I completely understand. And then we could develop our own electric kit from refrigerator parts, basically. We could start tearing it down and get ready for when the kit does come out, but it's already several months behind their expected release date, and I don't want to tear into this car and start ripping it apart and start mocking stuff up and everything when it works so well. Because normally we buy crash cars and it's like, hey, what's the problem? Like, you know, like that car and the other car. It's like, what's the problem with, you know, with starting to tear them down because they don't work already, right? Well, this car works great. It turns heads. This is the most popular car on the streets that we've ever had. I could drive around in that green Lamborghini with the top down all day long. Some people enjoy it. I drive around anywhere in this thing. Everybody enjoys it. And I enjoy it as well. So I'm not gonna start tearing into it and basically kneecap a perfectly good working car when I could be using it until we get into the time when the parts are ready. So let's talk about parts. Here's what I bought already. I made a promise to you guys that any modifications that we do to this vehicle, we could be able to undo. The design that I saw and the original image that I had that made me really want to buy a DeLorean, it is a wide body DeLorean. So what I did was I went onto their website, the DeLorean Motor Company's website, and they have what's called new old stock panels. They are created in 1981, around the same time that the car was, and they've just been in storage ever since, and you can actually buy these things. So I bought 2 front fenders and 2 rear quarter panels. So this whole thing right here and this whole thing right here. That's all we have to modify to do the wide body. That is a permanent modification. So the new old stock ones, I'm not sure if we'll cut those ones up or if we'll cut these ones up when we do go wide body, but there will be perfectly good OEM DeLorean replacements. I think I'm going to take these ones off the car so they're the original ones that came on the car, so it's like a numbers matching part. I will take these off, I'll put them in storage, and I'll cut up the replacement ones. So I will stay true to my promise through engineering and fun. Basically the only change that we'll make to this vehicle that'll be permanent is the fact that it is going to be electric. Everything else we'll be able to undo, I think, in honestly a matter of hours. So that is the game plan for the DeLorean build. As soon as we get our hands on the E-Crate system, hopefully we're able to work out a deal, we get our hands on that, we start back on and building this thing full speed. The Supra. This is a little COVID baby build. So here's what happened with this guy. We went to Japan literally like 3 weeks before COVID shut the world down. I had purchased this car, it went onto a cargo container, and then this thing got held up for a long time. It finally landed in Texas at JDM Buyer headquarters, where it sat for a little bit until we finally had the proper space to get it over here, and we got it over here. There was a little bit of selling and buying done in the middle, but let's not even worry about that. So she's back. She is crashed, but very easily restored also. This car has, you know, potential for full easy restoration. The frame rails are not damaged. There's a tiny little ding here that we can move out, but that's like a dent, not a kink. These parts, you know, you can buy all these parts for a replacement. Let me show you under the hood. This thing is super dusty, but super clean. Very, very good representation of a factory manual twin turbo. That is a very, very expensive configuration for these vehicles, which makes this vehicle very, very expensive. And I honestly don't know how far I want to go into modifications, because every mod that you do, it really starts taking tens of thousands of dollars off the sticker value of these cars. But with it being right-hand drive, it's worth a lot less on the collector's market, I will say that. And myself, like probably a lot of you guys, I got introduced to the Supra from Fast and the Furious, and that, like, honestly, that one scene in Fast and the Furious, taking something from burnt up garbage to insane looking and driving and feeling car, is something that's inspired me to my entire career that I do now. So leaving this thing completely stock is like not really in my DNA. Brian O'Connor didn't pull up to that garage and then go, we need to order all the factory parts and restore this thing just exactly to mint and then stick it back in the garage and do nothing with it. Did he? No. He raced a Ferrari on the first day. So what I'm thinking right now might be a happy medium. Some aftermarket body parts, just the body parts, just the tip. Anybody could remove them later if they wanted to. Keeping the engine pretty much OEM with small mods to boost that horsepower up just a little bit, but still running on the JDM twin turbo configuration. I have another car that ran on those twin turbos. They can produce a lot of horsepower. It is a really good feeling and a good driving car at 400 horsepower to the wheels, and that engine can definitely do it. So that's one idea, but let me know what you guys think. It's gonna have some aftermarket body parts no matter what, but let me know what you guys think on the engine side. I could also do a single turbo conversion and just keep all the JDM twin turbo pieces and try and put them back on later. But I don't know if you guys got a peek at how many freaking vacuum lines there are in here. This stuff is a chaotic mess, and remembering where all that goes could be tricky, but I'm sure we could figure it out if we had to. But yeah, single turbo, you know, that engine can make a lot of horsepower. On the interior side of things, this car is super duper clean example. Normally when you buy these cars from Japan, they are pretty low miles and great examples on the interior, and this one is no different. So this is overall a very easy restoration, I think, in not very much time, although it is crashed on almost every single panel. And this is the nice side that we're looking at. The other side definitely has it a little worse. But I do think we can have this thing repaired and restored to a great condition and a great look in relatively little time. So when we have the time to do it, that's what we're gonna do. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about my plans for modifications. And finally, the RX-7. Yes, I have an RX-7. I haven't really showed this on the channel in any formal way. I accidentally showed it in the back of a scene once. If you guys don't know, when an RX-7 sits like this and has that much wheel gap, it means that there's no engine in here. Bought this RX-7 from Ben at Gears and Gasoline. He posted on Instagram that he had an RX-7 and it was going up for sale, and I said, I'll take it. Why did I say that? Because I used to have an RX-7 and I sold it and then I regretted it. And the price started skyrocketing on them. So I really wanted to make sure I got one while I could still afford one. This one is also left-hand drive. I did not like the fact that my other one was right-hand drive. So this one's left-hand drive. And they bought this car to use the interior out of it. So he put his tan interior in here, which I actually really like the tan interior. And then it has no engine. I think it might have a trans either in the trunk or back here, but it has no engine. And then the guys tried to move it here and locked the keys in the car and broke the door handle off. So if you know any professional RX-7 thieves out there, we need help getting into the car because the key's inside the car and the door handle is broken off. Do we have a Way to Go Kyle t-shirt? As you can see, the factory Mazda paint is doing factory Mazda paint things. This restoration going to take a lot longer for a few reasons. It's got no engine and this body is in really bad shape. The fact that you see body filler here is not a good sign. I mean, watch me, I could just chip this body filler off, which means it wasn't applied properly and it's not good to go to be painted over. So basically all the body filler has to come up. You have to refix the dents and the dings. All the paint has to come off of this thing or else it'll peel underneath your other paint. It's a hell of a project. So the plans for this build go all over the map. I've thought about theming it after Lightning McQueen, although I'd probably get sued again and that probably wouldn't go well. I've thought about doing maybe another Rocket Bunny build or a fun wide body kit on it. Engine wise, from the moment I got in an RX-7 and drove one for the first time, I thought this car would be fantastic with an LS in it, because it has so much low end torque and this is such a lightweight and responsive chassis, make for a hell of a good driver car. But we get a lot of hate for LS swapping everything, and I think maybe it's time that we get a little bit more creative. But LS swaps have so much industry support that it's like we know how to do it, we know we can do it, and we know we'll have a great running and driving car afterwards, no matter what. Which, when you're jumping into huge months-long builds like this, you want to know it's going to work well in the end. The other way, though, that we have good results is by doing what we did on that Datsun there. That has a V10 out of the BMW M5, and we took all the M5 electrical, all the wiring harnesses, the engine, the ECU, the PDM, the ECM, like everything. And we put it in there, and then we had a tuner come and tune a few little things here and there, not making big power mods, but just tune up a few little things. And that thing is reliable as all hell. It fired up, drove right in here, drove to the spot that's at now, and it would drive out of here right now. So that's one way of doing it that's also really reliable too. So I'm just sitting here thinking, I'm thinking on the RX-7, I'm thinking about what would be fun to do, what would help push the limits of what we know how to do. And I just love the body style, and I want to have one in the collection. Kind of got to have one in the collection. We're doing the JDM trifecta. We got the Supra, the RX-7, we've got the R34/R35. I'll probably buy an NSX someday, and then I'll have all of them. But yeah, that RX-7 is a bit of a sit there and think about it, and also think about how we can get the keys out of the inside of it. Have you guys seen our pile of Dynacorn stuff? Do you guys know what Dynacorn does? So in the next episode, Dynacorn parts plus a very special chassis equals a redemption build. If you've watched the channel for the last 2 years, me and a certain unicorn car have a bone to pick. It is redemption time. We're kicking off a new build in the next episode. Please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it, and join us for this redemption build. I think you guys are going to love it, and we'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching. Peace!